What's going on, beautiful people? It's King K back again with another video. Today, I'm basically going to be talking about my experience as a first-year international student in a Toronto university. A lot of you might be watching this video because you're thinking of schooling in Canada, or a lot of you might just be watching this video to reminisce about your international studies, or you might just be watching this video because it popped up. But either ways, I just wanted to share my experience with you. So I believe I was 16 when I got my admission to the university. I was in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria at the time. And obviously I was super stoked to be going to Canada to school. I had taken my national exams in Nigeria and I passed them all. I applied to, I believe, four places in Canada. I applied to Humber College, I applied to York University, and some other place, I forget. And I got admission into all of them, but I chose to go to York University because also my brother at the time lived close to that university. First year York as a 16-year-old kid, it was, to say the least, a very different experience. I had been to Canada before then, but this time I was coming to Canada to stay, and I was both thrilled and frightened because I didn't know what to expect. Okay, like usually when I came to Canada, it was to see family or to be with family, or I was coming with family. This time around, I was coming with my mom to university. University was this huge thing, like, in my mind, and also in the Nigerian culture, it was like a rite of passage from, being a kid to adulthood, where you're going to have all this freedom and you're going to meet a lot of people. Mind you, like, I didn't know too much about York University, but I knew that there was a lot of people, a lot of students, 50 something thousand students at that time. This was in 2012. My first semester, because I didn't get my visa processed I didn't get my visa on time. I got my visa late. So I ended up starting in the winter semester from January 2013. It was winter, I arrived in Canada. Mostly I'd only ever come to Canada in the winter time, so this was not new to be traveling in the winter time. But staying for a long time in the winter in Canada was something new to me. Because you just got to brace through it. And I had never studied. Look, this was the first thing. I'd never studied in the cold. I'd never gone to school, or had to go to school, or be in school in a place that was cold, because Nigeria is always warm, and when it's cold, the cold for us is like 15 to 17 degrees. You know what I mean? Like, they call it Harmattan season. So this was some minus 10 to minus 15, going to school every day. It was just different. It was weird. Snow falling, had to wear winter clothes and, like, just bulky clothes. You know what I mean? Like, fashion was out the window basically, because, like, in Nigeria, you had a variety of, you could wear anything you wanted because you didn't know what the weather is basically going to look like every day. And when it gets cold, you can only, like, you basically only put on like a sweater or a cardigan, right? So first year, I turned 17 in my first year, actually. And I remember my first class was in a lecture hall of about 300 people, 300 students. It was a big lecture hall. That was the biggest class I've ever taken, because I went to, like, being in a high school with about 20 something classmates to a lecture hall of 300 people. And mind you, like, with everything going on, like, these are things that you would face, right? When your university or your college might not be as big as 300 people per lecture hall, but it's firstly a new environment, a new country. You got to learn new things. You got to acclimatize. You got to adapt, to some new things. And if you're coming in the winter, be prepared, because it's going to be cold, man. It's going to be cold. You got to acclimatize to the weather. You got to acclimatize to the people. Even the humor here is different. You got to acclimatize to that, the way people talk. Just everything is different. It's a whole different world, okay? And if you're coming from Nigeria, you have to keep an open mind, because Canada is different, okay? Canada is more open. more, open to different types of things and different ways of life than Nigeria is. So you have to keep an open mind because you're gonna meet everybody, all kinds of people. You know what I mean? So I was meeting all kinds of people too. You know what I mean? Like, it was, for the most part, like, it was very different and yet exciting, but scary. It was scary. Um, then you get used to the Canadian niceness, right? People opening doors for you, people, just saying hi or hello or smiling at you for no reason, and you're wondering, why is everybody smiling? Like, what are they on? Are they on, some happy drug that they don't tell you about? They call it the Canadian niceness. Sorry, everybody's saying sorry all the time. But yeah, you get used to that real quick. Classes were different. I had for the first time uh white and foreign teachers, lecturers, professors. I'm used to Nigerian teachers and, like, the Nigerian accent, but now you're hearing all kinds of accents teaching you Russians, with the thick Russian accents teaching you. I remember I had a Russian professor in a math class. That was different because you could hear the strong Russian accent, but you got to make sure you're understanding what he's saying. And sometimes, like, I'd have to ask questions over and over again just to make sure I got it. You know what I mean? It was different, exciting, scary, yet different. It made the whole experience wholesome. I believe that you're now in a place where you're no longer just surrounded by only Nigerians, but you're surrounded by people from all races. You're surrounded by people from every part of the world, and you can make friends with everybody, and you can make friends with people from all walks of life. And it was just amazing. You know what I mean? But I wasn't the most social person in my first year. I made some friends with Nigerians. I made some friends with all kinds of people. But that's the thing. University friends in Canada, I mean, the university I went to, anyways, a lot of it is surface, right? You make friends with people because they're in your class or they're in your res or your. I never stayed in res, first of all, so I wasn't privileged to have res friends, or much of res friends. But I did have some friends that lived in the residences. But you know, um, I was privileged to live that res life. I lived with my brother for about a year, and then I moved out on my own when I turned 18, and I started living on my own with roommates, but never the res life experience. So whenever I had the opportunity to go into the residences, I would see how they lived, and I would be like, yeah, this is different. A part of me never cared for the fact that I didn't live in the res because, like, obviously, like, I like my own showers. Okay, I like being able to not share restrooms or washrooms with a whole bunch of people. But not just that, like, a lot of shit goes on the res. You know what I mean? Like, in the residences, like, there's drama, there's all kinds of stuff. I just like my privacy. That was it, right? But yeah, like, it was crazy because you would make friends with people in your class or in your lectures, and because or after those lectures are over, those people basically disappear. Okay, and then you go to another lecture or you go to the next year, and mostly you don't see people from your first year, or people just it reshuffles, and you may never meet some people again. So it's like you build connections, but they're short lived, and it's such a disappointment or such a downer. Or people are just surface friends. Like, it's not deep. You don't get to know them deeply. You don't really get to know so much about them, but you get used to the questions. Where are you from? Now everybody's asking, like, what country are you from, or where are you from, or you're asking the questions, where are you from, what country are you from, because everybody just looks so diverse. And, like, being from Nigeria, I was just acclimatizing and adapting to all of that, and it was great to get to. For the most part, it was great, like, to get that experience. So I was happy, you know what I mean. But my friend circle was really small, and I had a lot of acquaintances, and I was happy with that. School, on the other hand, acclimatized into the methods of teaching now. Like, there's so much use of computers and online modules and all of that stuff, and, like, you gotta rally around to get textbooks and find deals of textbooks. You know what I mean? Like, if I get enough video, if I get enough, like, activity on this video, I'll probably post, like, what I had to do to get discount textbooks, or, like, good priced textbooks, because textbooks were hella expensive. You know what I mean? So you just got to know how to hustle. You got to know, you got to be smart and put your ears down. Like, your classmates or your course mates are going to, give you some secrets and stuff and what you need to do. Ask questions, make friends. You cannot survive in Canada without making friends, socializing, connecting with people, and networking. Everything is about networking in Canada, period. Even outside your university, in life, everything is about networking. So you get information when you network with people and when you are, surrounded by people that are in the know, or people that know more than you, or people that, are used to the system. So as an international student, like, another important thing that I think everybody that is an international student needs to know is community, man. You got to be a part of a community, or join a community, join a church, join clubs at your university, you know what I mean, or your colleges, because these are things that are going to keep you grounded. These are the things that are going to also build a network of people, you know what I mean, like, it's going to build a network of people to surround you, and in case you need help, or in case, like, you're looking for friends and stuff like that. I'm talking real friends, right? Church, clubs, if you're from Nigeria, for example, the NSA, Nigerian Student Association, is, one of the clubs that most Nigerians are a part of. Like, if they're a part of any club at all in that university or college, they always, make sure they join the country's club, because all colleges have clubs of the countries, right? So that's one important, tip I can leave in this video for you guys that are, like, trying to adapt, or, like, get used to the country. And this is where you also learn key information. This is where you're also going to learn a lot about the country, and just how people like you live, and people like you, like, people from where you're from, how they did it, how their life is going, how what you need to know basically about living in that country that you're in. It doesn't have to be Canada too, like, it could be anywhere. You got to just surround yourself with people like you, and also you have to be careful not to surround yourself with only people like you, because you also want to learn other people's experiences, and you also want to learn, you want to befriend other people, other kinds of people. So be very open to being a part of your community, as well as being a part of the community as a whole. Okay. York was a party university, probably still is. So it was very social, you know what I mean? A lot of events, there's always events going on. And, you got to be careful to mix, that life of a student, and mix that life of a young adult that's figuring life in a new country, because obviously you want to go to balance your work, life, school, all together. Sometimes it's just school and life, and sometimes it's, a mixture of work, life, and school, because in a country like Canada, where you're probably going to be given a work permit, to make some money if you want, although they usually limited to 20 hours per week in during the school time, like, during the semester. So you can only work 20 hours per week in the semester while school is on, and on the breaks, like summer break or winter break, you can work more. You can work 40 hours. So yeah, like, it was quite an experience. Like, now that I think back at it, like, it was the foundation for my stay in Canada. And I've met some people that I'm still friends with till today. Very few, but the friendships were solid. And yeah, like, I've learned a lot about the country, and obviously that is why too, from being here, I've been able to make these videos for you all to benefit from, or to enjoy and to watch. Like I said, if you're trying to come to school in Canada, I definitely say yes, like, do it. Canada is an expensive country, but every developed country is expensive these days. Canada is pretty chill. It's not the most active country when it comes to fun, but you can definitely have fun here. Like, you could definitely have fun here. You definitely want to be in a country where you can both work and school if you needed to, because you never know. Like, it might be just a side job, but you can get to save a little bit of money. You're not just waiting for money from your parents or from whoever is sponsoring you. You can, gain some experience or build your resume before you even graduate by getting, like, summer jobs, or getting, jobs when you're working, right? Or just for some pocket money. So Canada is a good country in the sense of that as well. So yeah, it was beneficial to me during my university, because for most of my university years, I was always doing some sort of work or working, you know what I mean? So yeah, like, balancing all of that, I can't say it was the easiest thing, but, like, I always like to have money in my pocket. Being a student, it's hard enough to be a student. It's harder to be a broke student. All right, the typical, broke student, struggling student. I didn't want to be that. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, I would always work, and I still struggle. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, that was it. It's life. Life as a student. But yeah, I'll probably post another video to continue on this, a part two, depending on how this video does. So you guys run up them likes, run up them comments, run up the views. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section. I will see you in the next video.